So, a Netflix show is actually filming in another Caribbean country.
We're just like, definitely apply. The worst that can happen is that they say no.
And then by a little later, them say, yeah girl, yes, you will get full-time position to work on it.
So she came back home from UE, drove all the way back home because she thought, alright, I have to pay online, and I have to schedule online. Drive back up there to then pay, to then come around and hear, oh, I'm at lunch.
It is Wednesday. She
Yes.
needs to fly out
Sunday.
right? We don't need to figure out a passport situation.
You know, so there's deadlines for certain things, and I was feeling very anxious. And then the COVID results come back. Positive.
She passed it so well.
To be honest, I wasn't gonna look at it. Like I did not think at all that I had COVID. So my plan was just download it and upload it to the country's website.
That would have been awful.
You would have heard you are rejected. Why are you coming for a flight? You are rejected.
It would have been awful.
I downloaded it. You know, like when you download it, it opens. So I was like, okay, what does it mean when it says positive? Does that mean I have it?
Or does that mean you positively don't have it? Like
just pure confusion.
Or is there a positive none for it? I think it's just right,
So
yes or no.
I literally sat there like for a good 5 minutes, and I was like, oh my god.
So Judene comes downstairs and she has on a mask. And I'm looking at her like, why does she have on a mask? Because we have all been together.
By the door, so she's like all the way out here.
And she like holds on the phone and she's like, guys, I have COVID.
Or it's like, what?
And then she like, yes. And then like she takes the phone and she turns around and goes back upstairs. We're just like, what is happening? Like she legit got on COVID.
All of us in the room were just like, what is happening? What was that? What do we... So we're like, no, sis, come back here, sis. Stop the foolishness. Come here, man.
So let me tell you about how Abigail has been during all of this. Abigail is your quintessential prayer mama. Alright? She's the one that is going to tell you to shape up yourself, man. Where is your faith? Come on, and we're going to speak to this situation. And then she's going to just fly off in her tongues or something. She's going to be like, well, this is not the moment to break down. So all throughout this experience, that has been Abigail. because every time for this entire experience, something kept going wrong. So first it was, oh, we're gonna try to do the COVID thing, the place just not accept us, and then we're trying to get the tickets, and the ticket just not accept us, and then when we finally get the price for the tickets, it's super expensive. So all along it hasn't been easy breezy beautiful, right? So all along Abigail has just been like,
so the foolishness, come along, come.
Let's go.
We're not stopping here, sir.
So right now, Abigail is like at peak level because she's been training up all of these days. Abigail is at peak.
I remember I said to Judene, we're not going to give in to your emotions right now. We don't have time for this. We do not have time for this. So you're not going to be emotional right now. I know it's sad, but we're fixing.
So Abigail said,
we're open to the COVID test. Where is open?
Yes.
We're doing another one.
So Abigail gives us a schedule for the day. She says we're gonna pray now. Then we're not gonna talk about the situation again. And then at 12 o'clock we're gonna stop again and pray. Until then we're gonna be working. Alright, so you do that. So me and Abigail and Ashley and Mommy, by the time she came back home, she wasn't home at first.
She was still on the road buying the things we need to get.
Yes. So all four of us, we're all just like, yes, we're still going tomorrow. We're still going to the airport tomorrow. Judene is like, I'm basically going to go upstairs and tell the people I can't come. Like, that's
I'm going to go and cry right now.
Like, I'm going to sit in my room. We're all just like, alright, COVID test. So you see, if we thought we had a control center before,
I know the control center right now.
We are
Everybody
prepared.
was on the phone, calling friends, calling people. Where can I get a test? Where can I get a test?
So at this point, we've given each other nicknames because this journey is super intense and it also feels like this crazy faith journey. Alright?
Crazy.
So Abigail, of course, is Peter because she's the super violent one. She's action oriented. She's ready for everything. She'll draw for the knife if it needs to be to defend to defend their sister. All right,
defend her faith.
Right. No. Ashley is there, and Ashley is James, because you always hear about Peter, James, and John, but you don't really hear what James does. Then James kind of just come in with one book close to the end of the Bible, and it just shell the place. And that's Ashley. She's not always going to be talking, but when she does talk, it's just like,
whoa, why didn't you say this all along?
So that's Ashley. And then of course that leaves me with being John, you know, because I'm always just like, you know, God, you're good, and God, you're gonna work out this goodness for us.
And also, the one out there, almost like if Judene said, I am not going, Judene can be like, it's okay. I'd be like, get up, get your ass in the car, doing it.
I mean, to be honest, I probably wouldn't have been like, it's okay. I might have said okay to her in the moment, but then come back and be like, you know, let's talk more about this.
But she's also.
I'm definitely not the calm. But yes, so we're driving around the place. We're trying to do COVID test, and let me tell you guys, it's not as easy as all of these companies are making it look. Because first of all, you have to look at the kind of test that you need to go into the country. Not every country you can get away with just an antigen test. Some want antigen test and the PCR test, and some want PCR test even if you have an antigen test.
Yeah.
So we were finding place upon place that could the antigen, but none could do both within the same time period.
Yeah, because no, this is Saturday, we need it back for tomorrow.
We need it for today because the flight is tomorrow at 6 a.m.
And we're just like, and also not many places that the PCR they're open on a Saturday.
Yes, because actually Yui was open, so I called the person at Yui. She's like, oh, I think that they're closing, but let me call and see if I can just get you in to do it. And she calling. She called back. She's like, they're packing up to leave.
And guys, this is all before 12 o'clock, right?
Again,
before 12 o'clock.
This is like 9 a.m. because, as we said, we're about to shoot, so we were up and ready. So, we pile up in the car, we finally find one place, we go down there, and that was to do an antigen test. And as Abigail was saying, we were really just working with this faith that if we're seeing the doors open, especially before 12, we're believing God that He's still saying that we're supposed to go forward. So, when 12 o'clock, we were there before 12 o'clock, she did the test before 12 o'clock, and she got the results, and the results came back
negative.
Let's just talk about that, us being at the testing, because that was another experience. They're in the line, literally in the line to go and pay for the thing, and Catherine's on the phone with Caribbean Airlines to find out how soon, how late she can cancel or change her flight, because she's like, yo, what if I get back the test like 12 o'clock tonight? Is that too late to whatever? So we're on the phone as we're walking in the line,
center just moved.
Because whatever, we're calling
Portable.
some other people. And then that's Catherine and Ashley in the line. That's Catherine and Judene in the line. Me and Ashley are running back going, yes, Lord. So even
Yes.
God, just
Yes.
your will, God.
Yes.
Anybody walking by us will be like, what is wrong? Why are these poor girls always huddling? Always like, just stop. And then we call back up, Catherine, what you heard?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we're praying that. So Lord, we thank you for what you just said. Literally.
The worshippers, you gotta bring the worshippers with you.
We just have to play music all the time.
Right?
So then she got back the negative test, all of those stuff will come back home. What happens at that point?
We're prepared.
Yeah, we decided we went to the airport with the negative test.
No, and then here's the thing, too, guys. We're not advocating for this at all.
At all!
But
No.
because we figured that we could test back, like counting back when she actually probably did have COVID, because all of us, there was a period where we got a little sick, but we never had any of the actual symptoms. Like we never lost sense of smell or taste.
It was
we
like
never had fever.
the mildest cold you could ever have.
Right.
Like there was a point when Catherine had a cold, then Ash had a cold, Becca had a cold, Judene had a cold, I had a cold.
So we never thought it was COVID at all, because we weren't progressing in any kind of illness.
And it was,
or
as I said, it was so short-lived, probably like 2-3 days.
It was 3 days.
And it wasn't like a fever, I feel tired. You're probably just sneezing and coughing. Everybody's still working at home, doing their thing. It wasn't like,
and then that was also
bed
the thing, guys. That was also the thing. We work at home, we live at home, we don't really go anywhere. So it's not that we were also sick and still out on the street. Nah, we're all at home. And this was about, like, there was 2 weeks when we literally did not go anywhere.
Yeah.
So even if we had it, and we probably did, we had a period of 2 weeks where we weren't going anywhere.
Right.
We were literally at home, just chilling.
Exactly. And so what we did, we actually spoke to somebody who is good with that side of pathogens. Like, that's her job. She's the head of that. And so we were asking her, you know, is it possible for you to have a positive today and negative tomorrow, because it was literally leaving your body that day, like that was your last day of it? And she said yes, which is why we were saying within the period of the Thursday or the Wednesday when she actually did the test
and the
Saturday, it would have already fully left her body, and that's why she has a negative one now. So we're not advocating for lying to the government or running around when you have COVID, but we literally were believing that based on our symptoms, based on the timeline, based on our levels of responsibility, that she really never had COVID anymore.
So we'll upload the antigen test.
Yes.
Head to the airport the next day because we're operating in faith.
Yes.
You know, we just know for sure this is how it's gonna work.
Yeah. We're in the car driving, and we are giving prophetic word, and we are praying, we are worship the night before. We're all up in Judene's room. Judene talk about
upper room experience.
Let me tell you, we are praying, we are joke together. Abigail talk about her vision and dream and thing. Me I talk about her, you know, this is really just because the Lord wanted us to use this time to focus on Him. Because if He had really done this any other way, we would have just been sleeping tonight, we would have been praying down the place, would have been taking shots, you know.
Probably.
So we really were just thinking that, you know, God, this is you just allowing us to focus on you as we're even driving there. So we reach there, and we can't go inside with Judene because of the new COVID restrictions. So we leave her at the door, and we're all just kind of peering through the window.
It was probably the longest line I've ever stood in, because when I go to the airport, first of all, I would get there like an hour and a half before the flight, because
she pre-checked in.
Yeah, you check in online, and the process to get to the plane is not very long. So this line is really long. Everybody going to this island. So we're gonna get to the front, check the we were also worried about how heavy the bag was gonna be, but on the scale it's underweight. We're like, that's amazing, that's you, God. So then they asked me to see my reservation for where we're gonna be quarantining. I showed them that, and then they're like, alright, let me see your COVID test. And I was like, oh, they're gonna ask for that here.
Right here. Right now.
I didn't think so. Alright. So I pull up the negative one because of duh. So she goes, okay. And then she zooms. And that's when I knew it was over.
Like, alright, I'll just go back outside.
It's just
never mind now.
My bag is cool, you know? And she was like, is that antigen test or a PCR test? And I was like, to lie or not to lie?
Not to lie.
So I was like, there's an antigen, you know, blah, blah. I need to get on this flight today, and I wasn't getting back the results before that, whatever. And she was like, okay, but you're going to need a PCR to enter. I was like, but can't they just do that when I get there?
Because they do test you at the airport when you get there.
So like, and then because you have this period of quarantining, shouldn't it still be fine? No, they're not going to accept it in there. I was like, alright, so what if you just let me go anyway, and we just kind of figure it out when I get there? She's like almost like, honey, no girl. And I was like, so what do I do now? Like, do you guys put me like on standby? Standby! I need to go do it because they have testing at the airport. So I was like, do I go stand by and go get tested here and then come back? And she was just like, no, that like she just said the place don't open till 10, the flight leave at 9. So, you know, you wouldn't get it back before. And I was like, okay. So, and she said, so you're going to go to that desk at the back there and they will tell you what to do with the ticket, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, with my suitcase in my hand. Yeah.
So now we are outside. So we're not hearing any of this situation. But of course, all the while that we're out there, we're just kind of praying and things like that. And so...
No, praying to the point where people that were standing beside us slowly moved
away. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So like when... Because we were doing it like a little bit. But you see when she did reach in front of the lady now, everybody like it just rose in body. But everybody's like, yeah, come on. And it's just like tongues and prayers and hand reach out. And we'll reach out to them. Everybody else who also has people on the flight, like they're looking as well, you know, just to be able to say goodbye to them. So the other people around us are kind of like, who are these people? What are they doing? So if we thought that we were screaming, right, like if we thought that we were freaking out the people the day before, today they are completely freaked out. Because we're in the zone, like we are praying, and I really felt like I felt the Holy Spirit. We never prayed like that in a while. It was wild, man. It was so crazy. And then we see her walk back, and then we get the phone call. Oh, okay, all right, okay, let's pack up.
Let's
pack up the control center.
Control center, move out.
And then let's go.
For me though, when I got that call, honestly, my expression was no.
So I was the one talking to her on the phone, and I had to relate to them when I came off the phone. So Judene's words to me were, they're not letting me on the flight, so I have to go over to the ticketing place to change my ticket. So I said to them how she's going over to the ticketing place to change her ticket. Abigail goes, no, don't say that. She's going over to the ticketing place. We don't know what will happen after that, okay? We don't know, okay? Maybe some other miracle will happen.
Let me tell you, honestly, let me admit something. Honestly, I wanted her to go. Yes, for the experience, but becoming tired. At this point, I'm tired of her. I was so exhausted for giving so much. I was like, yes, you can go, great. And I was like, she's coming back. So the war's still going on.
Yeah.
So I'm tired.
It's true. It's true.
So I was like, if there's any ounce of hope and chance left, Lord, just take it, Lord.
She was really holding on to the last string. Abigail said, we don't know what's gonna happen over there.
When I went over to the ticketing booth now, I too was hopeful. I thought they were gonna say something like, alright, but since he did this and since he did that, we're gonna put you on the flight. And like, I just expected something like that. And then the person who was actually checking me in, at one point she came over and she was saying something to the person. She's like, yeah, the person, blah blah. And I was like, oh, she gonna put me back on the flight. And she was saying, the girl have COVID. And I was like, oh, who have COVID? She's like, that lady was. She pointed to somebody else who was in the flight. She's like, she's COVID positive. Why is she trying to come on the flight? So she said this to the person. I was like, maybe I shouldn't be hearing this. Because the girl was like, who? And she looked at me. I was like, it's not me. I ain't no COVID positive. So the other lady, and then that was the situation. I was like, oh, she's not coming to tell me I'm going to come back on the flight and all of that. So I asked them to check, when is your next flight? So she goes, she checks. Next week, Sunday. I was like,
yeah.
You guys don't have any flights in the week?
No.
And I was annoyed because fine, I can go next week Sunday, that's not a problem, but I still have to quarantine for 5 days when I get there. And so I'm already missing 1 week of work because I would have been quarantining that first week, which I had explained to the assistant director, and he was saying, that's fine, you can start in week 2 and just work for 4 weeks instead of 5 weeks with the project. I said, great, that's amazing. So when I get home now, I'm like, how to tell this person I am not coming on this flight, but I can come next week. So which means I'd miss week 1 and I'd miss week 2, so I'd only be there for 3 weeks. So I messaged them and they're like, alright, cool, keep them posted and they will keep me posted. And his thing was, alright, well, he's gonna watch the persons for the first week, and if they do well, he's more than likely just gonna keep them for the life of the project. But he'll let me know by like Wednesday, because I'd have to do another test again by like Thursday, Friday, so I could go on the flight for Sunday. So I was like, alright, so that Monday I slept a lot because I felt like it was a lot of warfare. Not just warfare, but between the Tuesday to the Saturday, it was go, get this. And then the warfare is on top of that as well. And I was like, yo, I'm so tired. Monday sleep, the suitcase, I never even carried the suitcase upstairs because it is going on that plane next week Sunday. They carry it upstairs and we're just operating and doing everything like I'm still leaving on the, Sunday and whatever. So I had said to my family, alright, hear what? If I don't hear anything by Wednesday, then I'm gonna just, you know, let it go because I would have to go to the test by Thursday. So that's it. I told my prayer people as well. Some of them had actually come here and prayed with me, and that was like really amazing. Big up yourself, Trudy, Lisa. Yeah. Anyway, so Wednesday now, I woke up and I was like, no message, because we WhatsApp, you know. I'm cool with the director and stuff, you know. So we just WhatsApp, and I was just like, nothing. Okay, all right. So I opened the message to message him, and I was like, no, you're gonna wait on the Lord. And by like midday or like 1-2 o'clock, he messaged to say the persons are doing well, he's gonna keep working with those persons. And I just felt like, oh, why? All of those things. and I felt very, very, very disappointed because I felt like this was it. Like, you never had to select me, you know? When I sent in my resume the Tuesday before, you could have been like, no, you live in Jamaica, we want people who live in this country, I'm not gonna talk to you.
Yeah.
You know? But I got selected for this out of a bunch of resumes and was gonna get to work on this show. Now, we haven't told you before, but this show is actually a show that we watch. So we know the storyline. It would be really excited to actually, because people work on shows all the time and they don't care nothing about the show. But we cared about the show. We liked it. We actually spoke about it on this channel. But yeah, you know, so like, we like this show. So to work on a show like this would have just been like, ah, amazing. And I just felt like, God, why are you doing this to me? How did you guys feel when I said, alright, this is what the guys said? Because they were really like, journey.
Yeah, we were pushing her sometimes. Like when she didn't even want to go up the hill anymore, we were pushing her.
And people,
I know, like for me, I remember Saturday when I came home from dancing. Like I went to dancing, and when I said I couldn't even dance, I'm sitting down and we're learning the dance. And if I'm not in that part, I'm literally sitting down. I get up, I do my part, and I come back and I had no energy to do anything. I'm like trying to, and I'm like I have no energy within me. So Saturday I felt 100% exhausted, and then Sunday to go and I'm just like, alright, great, this is where I'm giving it off to you. No, I'm taking it back home with me. I was like, I remember Monday I woke up at like 5:30 a.m. and I was like looking, because this is now March 1st, I'm like looking
to see if Caribbean Airlines come out with their flights. Yeah,
I took Catherine's phone, I'm on the phone with them holding to hear that, okay, do you have any flights? No, none straight. Okay, how can I island hop to get there? No, I can't do that. What do you mean I can't do that? We have a flight to this country and that country and that. I can. He's like, no, what? I'm just like, okay, how can I get there? Oh, you can't. And I'm like,
once again, Caribbean Airlines, do better.
They were not helpful. They were not. If there's an emergency, they would not help you to get to the country. It was annoying. Not. It was really annoying.
Especially when we found out that even though they keep claiming, you know, how it's so flexible because of COVID, it's really not that flexible. So if you have paid for a ticket, the only way you're gonna get back all of the money that you paid for the ticket is if you ended up in the hospital
and can prove it.
Other than that, they're gonna only give you back 50%, or they're gonna give you up until only a year to use the ticket. So I was just like, Caribbean Airlines, do better.
Because especially because you buy the ticket, you do the test, and you might find out anything. What if my family member got COVID and no died, and I know to deal with that? I had to cancel this. Or what if I got it? And it's like, can you please help me in these uncertain times? I didn't feel like they were very helpful. But anyways, so I felt exhausted, and I felt like, I'm sorry, Lauren, did we hear wrong? Because a lot of times Judene was like, she wants to stop, and it was us going behind her. So I'm like, Lord, did we get our hopes up? And whatever. And I remember one word that came to me in this season was that we keep saying, get our hopes up. And I'm just like, it makes it sound like hope can go down. If your hope is in the Lord, there's no up and down. You just have hope. Yeah. Regardless of what happens, you just have hope. And based on what was happening, I was like, Lord, every step of the way we asked you to open a door. Every step of the way we asked you for your guidance. Every step of the way we asked you for our word. We asked. So it's not like we were going, no, we want to be on this show. We want to do it. No, there was like literally we're going into the car, we're praying. We're going into the store, we're praying. We're coming out with a purchase, we're praying. It was so much rallying on each other that I'm like, Lord. And he had to remind me that there's no up and down hope. So the whole statement of, I got my hopes up. No. I had hope. I have hope. I believe in you. Yes, this situation might not have worked out, but it does not mean God isn't good. He isn't calling you for great things. Yeah. And there isn't hope to be had. In Him. Yeah.
Preach, girl. I think I was similar to Abigail in the sense that, one, I was just like, where is this going from here? Yeah. Because I couldn't believe that this could be the end of this story. So I never had a problem with this happening in the story, but I did not want this to be the season finale, you know? Yeah. And I was I kept series finale. I kept like waiting to see, alright, what is going to pop up? What is going to happen? And that was me on one side, and the next side was, even if nothing positive, in our estimation at least, happens, at least make it be done. At least close the door. I didn't like the feeling that
I had to wait till Wednesday.
No, right, just like not knowing, just not knowing. Either close the door completely so we can start focusing on something else, or open the door completely, make a walk through. And I also felt a little bit like Abigail, like I felt bad in the sense that we were kind of pushing Judene and saying, no man, let's do this, let's continue going, because we could have stopped somewhere along the line. But one thing that really came to me, well, two things actually. One was that we only know in part now, and so there is excitement in knowing that one day we will know fully why this happened. Because I was even, as we were driving up there, thinking about how, when was the last time we were at the airport and we prayed something bigger than just, God, we pray for a good flight, okay, amen, put in the earphones and watch a movie. Like, this was a time when there were 5 very committed Christians praying at the airport, and when was the last time that has happened? So I was just like, I don't know what those prayers were doing. All the times that people were speaking in tongues and you don't even know what you were saying. I don't know what the Lord was using with those prayers to do. And if He wanted us to spend all of this money and use our gas and use our time and go up there just to pray, if we're His servants, then I'm okay with that. I'm okay that all of this was so that His prayers could be had at the airport. Like, as crushing as the disappointment was, I'm okay if that's all that came out of it.
Another thing I thought of was that if He just wanted us to spend time focusing on Him, because from Tuesday to Sunday, literally almost every waking moment was, okay, what are we doing, Lord? What are you saying? Where are we going? And it was also moving as a unit.
Yes.
There was no, alright, it was like, alright, cool, dividing up the work, dividing up the time, alright, we're moving. Alright, everybody needs to eat, we're moving. And it was like moving as a one. It was an army. So even if it was a test of obedience, an opportunity of obedience, because it was like the Lord said, go get your passport. So, okay, I'm going to get my passport. The Lord tell Catherine, yo, this is what we should be doing. We're going to do it. The Lord show somebody else something, whatever. We shared the word so much.
Yes.
It was us praying together, praying over each other, having support, because even though we joke about me, Catherine, and Ashley, what we did, because what we did for Judene, more times me and Catherine were just like, yo, I'm like, you okay? Like, how I can help you, but come and no say it rough.
All in the struggle.
Yes. We're all here, we're all doing it. Even the Monday after, me and Catherine and Ashley were talking, we were just like, guys, how you feel? Like, how you doing? Because I know so we're all in this, are we disappointed? And we're sharing things that we all have the same sentiment and feeling.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, how do we now help Judene so that she doesn't feel the weight of the disappointment, the weight of the defeat, right? She still feels that support and knows it's okay. Nobody's looking at you differently. Nobody's saying, yo, idiot girl, what are you doing for? Everybody's going, yo, yay, we're happy.
Yeah,
we're happy
we did
that
it.
this happened.
We did our faith jump.
Even remembering it was such an exciting couple of days. It was like,
terrifying, exciting, same thing. For me, up to the Wednesday, I was still kind of like, alright, cool, yeah. I'll find a flight that's going to get me to the country before Sunday. Or the people are going to be like, yeah, cool. So when he was like, no, I was like, alright, that's okay. Whatever.
I didn't even really want it, you know? Cool. Yes.
Dumb country anyway.
I don't like your movie.
And then it wasn't until the Saturday when I felt like the full weight of the disappointment, because during that entire week I would have been in quarantine. So the Saturday would be like that first day when you step out of quarantine and like you're really getting to enjoy the country. And my plan for the Saturday was that I was going to go to the beach. I was going to actually go move in and live with my friend now. And we're going to start talking about the job itself.
Yes.
So she would have been working for 1 week, so she would have been able to say, alright, this is how it go. This is this person. That's where it is. And, you know, fill me in on everything and, you know, like really get into it. So the Saturday now, and I was like, oh, looks like I'm still in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Not working on this project. Yep. And I felt like really, really, really sad. And the scripture that came to me, which is what I want to share with you guys, was actually from Job 2. That's the part that I actually highlighted in the Bible, which kind of came back to me, was verse 9 and 10 of chapter 2. So Job 2 verse 9 and 10 says, his wife said to him, are you still maintaining your integrity? Curse God and die. Verse 10, he replied, you're talking like a foolish woman. Shall we accept good from God and not trouble? In all this, Job did not sin in what he said. And I was like, yo, for real. Because I realized that my annoyance, disappointment wasn't in anything that I did. I was upset with God because I felt like, you told me to keep doing all of these things. You could have stopped me at any point. From the beginning, I remember I was lying in the bed and I was like, God, should I do this? And he's like, not going to kill you to send in the resume. Because I've been job seeking for a while and I always ask before, should I? He's like, send in the resume. I remember once I was like, I'll wait till tomorrow. He was like, no, send it now. I was like, God, tomorrow. And then when I wake up the next day, the deadline did pass. Like that night when he told me to get up, that was the deadline. I was like, oh. So that night, I felt like I just had to do it coming out of that other experience. And I was like, you could have said to me no. You could have made the people them say no. You could have made it so that Carrie Airlines don't have no flight. You could have stopped me anywhere along the process. And it was like, okay, but are you that foolish woman who's going to say, if it's not good, I don't want it? Like,
yeah.
You know? In everything, he works all things together for good for those who love the Lord.
Yeah.
I do. And I called according to his purpose. I am. And so even in the trouble, he will work it together. So like what Catherine was saying, you know, we might see the end now. We might see the reason why this happened. Oh, this happened so that them can probably call me later to work on another project. Probably not. Whatever. You know, but all things work together for a good outcome. You might not understand it now in this moment, but this life, but you will.
Yeah.
And he's a God who loves you and cares for you, and you have to have this level of faith.
Yeah.
You cannot be like a foolish woman who's gonna say, well, if it's not good, forget you, God, I'm gonna live my best life.
Yeah.
It's funny that you use the Job, because when I was studying Job recently, one of the themes coming out of Job is that it's like a question: are you going to trust in God's wisdom, in his complex, when you don't know, his complex never-ending wisdom, or are you going to be like, no, it's not working out, no, I don't like this, no, God, as Judene said, all things work together, and also, if I put my trust in you, I will never be disappointed.
Yeah. And so, even as we close out, guys, there was this quote that I saw yesterday from David Wilkerson. Big up Ashley again for posting it. Even when she's not here, you know. James is just dropping the nuggets. Just drop them, James. But it says, when God calls you to something, he's not always calling you to succeed. He's calling you to obey.
Yeah.
The success of the calling is up to him, but the obedience is up to you. That's by David Wilkerson. And so I felt like that really just hit home to me, even with this whole experience. A lot of the times we think that just because he called us, it meant it's going to be this huge, successful story. You guys are going to come on this channel and hear that Judene is moving to LA because she got this Netflix movie. But we really wanted to share this particular story because even though it never ended the way we initially expected it to, I wouldn't have changed the experience for anything because of you.
What is it? Views are
Speak
not
for
your
yourself.
views.
The views of this channel are not shared by everybody.
Judene, would you change this experience?
Yes, I would have wanted to work on a show. Don't understand, I'm like honest. I would have wanted that.
Would you have wanted him to stop it from day one? And you never got to all of the growth and prayer and revelation?
I also want to say yes.
Okay, alright. Anyway,
I get it though.
Like
Like I understand it. I understand the process and I understand the journey. But I mean, to be honest, Jesus himself said, God, if you could take this cup from me, please let it pass. Like it's a lot to bear. So I'm gonna be like Jesus and be like, if you could have, that would have been great. If not, your will be done, God.
Alright, well, I'm at the point of view where I truly believe that something great came out of this, and that we only know in part how much of the greatness came out of this, and that even in future years to come, or when we're in heaven, we will know the fullness of why this had to happen, and at that point we'll be like, yo, it really should not have happened any other way but this way. And so we are all, encouraging you guys today that if you're going through any kind of discouraging situation, if you've just experienced some serious disappointment, or if you even waiting on the Lord, or if you feel like you can't trust God anymore because you went through a big thing and you felt like he let you down, just be encouraged by some of these things. Reach out to us if you want, and we can talk some more about it, because we really do believe that God doesn't make any mistakes.
Amen.
And so whatever is happening, it will be for your good.
Yes. Alright guys, drop in the comments which part of this story was the best part for you. Alright? For me, it was getting the job. I like the fact that I got the job. What was the best part for you?
end.
Then
When it could stop.
When
it could stop.
My favorite part though, honestly, was the Saturday. That's my favorite day of the week.
Let's get it going. We're not gonna stop.
We're not gonna start crying. We're not gonna cry. 12 o'clock we can cry.
Yeah, it really was. I think my favorite part is either the jokes that we would make about Peter, James, and John.
Yes.
Or it was the actual Sunday when we were praying right there as Judene was on the corner. Because as I said, that Holy Spirit feeling, it was wild. Like I haven't felt like that in a good while.
We should have just run and said, I'm going on the plane. Just
it'd be like Elijah with a chance. Oh, he come get scared.